cloud version of it. Thank you all for taking the time to have some lunch. Hopefully everyone's eating. I know Sally's got butter chicken. Sharon's got coffee. I've got chicken pesto pasta. It's delicious. So yeah, we're going to hear from Serena, Di and Scott as well about your people and how well do you know your people. So I will hand over to them now. Go for it.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I thought, I'm Diane from Centre for People and Culture, and what we're going to take you through today is one of our Connect and Check survey tools. How are you going? And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I thought it might be good to start off if you would like to share a little bit about yourselves and the organisation that you work for, just to give us a little bit of insight into what you do, what your people do, please. Matt, seeing how you're the only guy, can I start with you? Is that possible? Please. I can see you're from Make Safe Traffic Management, so I know sort of what they do.
Yep, so I'm the General Manager for Make Safe Traffic Management, obviously a traffic management company, supplying local councils, Department of Transport, builders, so forth. So numerous crews out there. Sharon's in the same boat as me. So we've got a lot of guys out there, or personnel out there, I should say. Day in, day out.
Do you have both people, I'm going to say, working from home as well as working out, in the field, if I can use that term? Or is it, administrative staff as well that support the guys working in the field? Or
yeah, there is administrative staff. Everyone is now back in our depot though.
Okay.
The office staff are back in here because we can distance ourselves enough. But obviously we do have a number of personnel out in the field every single day.
Great, thanks, Matt. And Sharon?
So hi, I'm Sharon. I'm the General Manager and owner of Prime Traffic Solutions. So we do pretty much the same as what Matt has just been through. We have numerous guys out in the field every day, and we have 7 office staff. 3 of us are still working from home, but I'm planning a return to the office soon, except for one who is older and not always got a lot of, he's got a few health issues. So we're going to leave him at home for a little bit longer.
Okay, great, thank you. Is Sally there?
Hello, I am.
Hi, Sally.
So I'm the People and Culture Manager on the Port Wakefield to Port Augusta Alliance, which has just been awarded to CPB contractors, Oricon GHD. So we are in startup phase, design phase. We've got around 80 people already on the project.
Sorry, Sally, was that 80 people, did you say, or 8?
80.
Oh, 80, thank you.
Yeah. So we'll commence mobilisation to site in around 3 to 4 months. So, obviously being a regional project, there'll be the need to, constantly check in on people, how they're going up there. We also have a need to survey our people on their, to do a culture survey essentially to track our behaviours and how we're going against, the behaviours that we've set up for the project or established for the project. So, I guess a tool to help us do that most efficiently would be useful to understand.
Oh, we've definitely got the solution for you, Sally.
Great.
Thank you for that. Sorry, Serena, Scott, did you want to, I should have probably thrown to you first. Sorry.
All right, doesn't matter. Scott, did you want to add anything? No, as Melissa said before we all joined, I've said enough lately in the group, and most people know who I am now, so I'm going to say no more. Thank you.
No, I think we'll just hop on into it. Do you think, Di?
I think so. Just bear with me one moment. I'm just going to share my screen. We've got just a few slides that we'll take you through just to start off with, and then we'll head on into the demonstration of the How You Going check-in tool. Just while I share my screen. Ooh. Melissa, you might need to enable me to share my screen. It won't let me do that.
Let's just make the co-host.
Technology, gotta love it, don't you? Won't be long.
And Mel, you're on mute still as well.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Try now.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you.
Does that work now?
Yes, I'm able to do that. Can everyone
Yay.
see the screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, sorry, just bear with me one sec. Why is that not working? Oh, sorry, just would not move to the next slide. My internet has been very precious this morning, dropping in and out. So if the PowerPoint presentation drops out, it'll be because of the internet, and I'll quickly try and bring it back up if I can. I thought we'd start off by having a look at the world we actually all work in and all the different things that we suddenly find ourselves being exposed to. Of course, one of the main ones being COVID-19 and what has taken place since COVID-19 has taken over our lives, if I can use that term, since probably March this year. Certainly not what we expected 2020 to be. So we're looking at the world we work in, transparency, the need to be more transparent in the way that we do things with our, I'm going to say with our stakeholders, with our clients, as well as with our people. We are working in a time of uncertainty, although, some of those restrictions are starting to be eased now, but definitely there's uncertainty there. You all spoke about, the fact that you've got your employees working in different areas, in field, in the depot, some working from home. How do we actually, ensure that no matter where our people are working, that they remain connected and feel connected back to the organisation, but also to their fellow co-workers. I won't go through all of those, but just starting to think about what is that work environment looking like for them now? What is that experience for them as they're completing their work? The diversity of both our people, but also our workplaces. We're in an environment of constant change where it's really important, now more so than ever, that we are very aware and conscious of the physical and emotional well-being of ourselves as well as our people. And then, the other thing that sort of filters all through that is all of the rules and regulations that we find ourselves needing to adhere to as we work within this volatile and complex and uncertain environment. Anything you wanted to add? Happy for me just to keep going? Okay. Any questions on that? Everyone sort of understand where I'm going? Just trying to set the scene for what we find ourselves working in at the moment. And then just a brief chat on, what we find ourselves in, this new economy. And an economy, in an age where we're asked to pretty much rate everything. So we need to consider the experience, what we feel, what we experience on a day-to-day basis. And, no matter what we do, we're asked to provide a rating. I'm sure all of us used an Uber car at some point. The minute you leave the Uber car, what happens? You get a little email or a little message in your phone asking you to rate that experience and that driver. Just to mention some others, if you've ever used Airbnb, they use a similar process. But how often do we actually check in and ask how our employees or our customers, for that matter, how they feel about the experience they've just had with us? One important feature really to think about when we find ourselves working in this new rating economy is the fact that by asking and seeking feedback, we gain insight into how people are feeling and their experience, which enables us to improve processes, improve the way we do things, and improve those connections that we have with our people. I don't think we'll go through this one, although I think, Sally, you may find this one useful. We put this one in here mainly, we weren't sure how many people we're going to have in the session from a people and culture perspective. I suppose when we think about, you know, the rating economy and the world we find ourselves working in, one thing that we, you know, our mantra when we talk about Connect and Check is that what we really want to do is we want to make the complex simple. We want to look, if we look at old ways of perhaps how we would gather feedback or seek to understand how people are feeling, and then look at the new way. So the old way was, you know, most organisations do, you know, an employee engagement survey maybe once a year or every 2 years. There's a lot of data that comes from that. Generally, you know, the time between seeking that feedback and actually receiving that data, there could be, you know, several months before that happens. The data is generally seen as to be owned by HR, because HR are the ones that administer that and get access to that data first, and then are sharing that with the executive team. You know, it tends to be of a more broad focus. And through that process, we believe there are a lot of missed opportunities. So what our Connect and Check tool provides, it's a much simpler tool, very easy to read dashboards. It gives you some real-time data so that you can actually both access the feedback and respond to that feedback in the flow of work. It looks at data from the ground up, you know, from the team level, individually, provided feedback and owned feedback. It enables you to focus on what really matters now. And it's all about looking forward and how can we make things better, rather than looking at data that's 6 months old and things have moved on from them and from that point, and, you know, what was important back then or what was an issue or a concern back then isn't an issue anymore because the data's old. So our Connect and Check suite is the new way. We currently have 7 great products in our Connect and Check suite. I won't take you through all of those, but we have a customer vibe, where you can actually ask your customers how they're feeling about the service that they receive from you as an organisation. We have Team Vibe, which is a pulse check aimed at looking at team level. The How You're Going tool that we're going to take you through is a byproduct of our Team Vibe survey tool. We also have Leader Vibe, which looks at, you know, the leader experience, but we take a completely different approach to the traditional 360 feedback survey by asking just 3 simple questions, feed forward, where we ask people, you know, if you were the coach or mentor of this leader, what are the 2 or 3 things, ideas, thoughts that you would do that they need to do differently, as opposed to, you know, asking them a whole series of questions on the good, bad and the ugly, so to speak. It's a simple to use digital platform, and it's fully customizable in lots of ways. And I think now is probably a great time to step in and actually have a look at our Connect and Check tool. So we'll start off with the How You're Going survey itself. Does anyone have any questions before I dive into that? No? Because everyone's on mute. Yeah, all good?
No, there's no questions in the chat box either, so go for it, Di.
Just bear with me while I find that particular screen. Okay, so I might have to Serena to talk so you don't get sick of hearing from me the whole time. Serena, do you want to take them through the...
The screen's it's not sharing yet, Di. It's still on the...
Oh, isn't it? Is it dropped off again?
I just have to stop sharing that one and bring up the next.
Okay. I just thought I did that. Bear with me 2 secs. Is that better?
It will pop up in a minute on its way, I think. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So as Di mentioned, this is the survey tool that sits in underneath, I guess, that team vibe, so that check-in with everyone that's part of the organisation on a team level. It's designed to be really simple to use. It's designed to ask very focused questions so that you can check in on what matters now. So, you know, there's not hundreds of questions, there's only 6 to 8 questions where you can be focused. Because I guess if you ask too many questions, you actually you can't kind of deal with everything, and then people feel less likely to want to respond again because they feel like, no, they're not being heard and action's not happening. So the people receive the survey in 2 ways, either via an email or via an SMS. So they'll get an SMS to say the survey's there and for them to click on that link to answer just a few simple questions. Obviously, the positioning that you put around this is important, the messaging that you send out to the people, out to your people as to what you're doing, why you're doing it, and leaders inside the organisation also have an important role to play in sharing the information with their teams. So this is a landing page. Just you would be able to customise that. You can put your own logos on that, so it looks and feels like you. And the wording that you'll use there to introduce the survey can change too. So if we just click on the start button. Yep. So this one has got we've put some questions in this one for the demo, just centered around what's happening at the moment with the current environment we're in with COVID-19. Going forward, obviously, you wouldn't include these types of questions, or you would adjust what you're going to include. So with this one, we're checking in firstly on their emotional well-being. So how are you going? And people that are responding simply click on one of those radio buttons to say either I'm great, I'm on top of things, I'm crazy busy. But the last 2 where it says I'm not so good or I need support, another little text box will pop up so that people can let you know what challenges they're actually facing right now and how you can help them. So they can just quickly enter a bit of text there. And then if we scroll down, we can see that we've got a few simple questions there or statements for people to rate. So the first one is just checking in to make sure that they feel like they're getting enough guidance and support around what's going on at the moment. You'll see the little icons there and the rating scales. All of those are customizable too. You can have different rating scales and different little icons. But we've tried to keep the language a bit more relaxed. So rather than those traditional surveys where you go strongly agree to strongly disagree, we've kind of got some, more relaxed, easy to engage with language with like, nope, a little bit, pretty much, absolutely. So yeah, just clicking on the answers. A team one, I'm remaining connected with my team even though they're working at home. I've got enough contact with my leader. And if we go down a little bit further, then we've got some, so a safety one. So I'm feeling as safe as can be expected right now. So sure do, or yep, sure do. And then a couple of text-based questions. So in 2 words, describe the one thing that we can do to better support you. And what are we doing that is helping you feel safe and reassured at the moment? And perhaps what's most challenging for you at the moment? So Di will just enter a bit of text there.
I can remember how to type.
Yep, and then simply click on submit. So you can see it's a really quick survey. It's not like people need to invest lots of time in that. They can do it in under a minute and you can get a really good read on how people are feeling. So then that all moves then into some dashboards, which Di will pop up to show you.
Okay, so this is the dashboard. Now this is presented in real time. I'm just going to refresh the screen so it brings into the last responses to the survey that I've just completed. As you can see right across the top there it shows you the response rate. So if you sent that out to 50 people, I can see that 21 of the 50 people that we've sent the survey out have responded. Overall, they have a favourable score of 64%, so people are feeling not too bad at the moment. It also tells you how long the survey is open for, when start date, close date. Now, down the bottom, this is our little mood meter. The dashboard repeats the question, so you always know and you can easily see what question was asked and the responses that have been received. So here we've actually got 7 people that have said they're great, 1 person that said support. They're all the different ratings. Now, actually, with how you're going, there isn't an anonymity applied. So we can actually click on the list there, and we can see of how many people, of our 21 employees that have responded, these are the 7 that actually are telling me that they feel great at the moment and everything's going really well for them. If I was a leader of this particular team, I'd probably want to jump in straight away and see who is my person that's needing support. From this dashboard, I can actually access Sophia's dashboard and jump straight into Sophia's dashboard and take a deeper dive and try and understand why she's feeling, that she needs some support. Then I can see all of her responses to the survey that she's completed. Now, when we're looking at an individual level, you will actually see the rating that they've selected. So if we look at support, she's feeling a little bit supported. The question there was, I feel as though someone will listen if I'm feeling concerned. So it appears there that that's also a concern for her. We can also see when she's clicked I need support, she's told us in what area she needs support. She's finding motivation really tough at the moment. So probably feeling a bit disconnected from the team. So it enables the leader then to understand a little bit about how Sophia's feeling before making contact with her and having a conversation and talking through her results with her. The word cloud, again, we've got the motivators and connection are the main 2 things that Sophia's responded to in that. And then to view her the open questions, her actual response to those are at the bottom of the dashboard. Now we can then, we've had a look at Sophia, so we think, okay, now what I'd like to do is actually go back and view the whole team. So now I'm back to an accumulative view. If you see in the dashboard, when we're looking at it accumulatively, you'll notice that the drivers are present there, and it's an accumulative response. So it's all of the feedback provided collectively. We have a stoplight approach there. So straight away, when you log on to your dashboard, you can see the areas that you're doing well in. So support, we're doing well. We've got a few here in amber, so there's some areas there that we probably need to take a closer look at and need to improve slightly there, but we don't currently have any red drivers. There was a red driver there, that's definitely one you want to take a much closer look at and start to think about what actions can I put in place to improve on those. Again, the word cloud is down the bottom, and here we have all of the collective responses that you can read for all of the feedback that's been received from the people that have completed the survey. Right back up at the top, you have the ability to save the dashboard in a PDF format. You can save it with the comments and the people's names by selecting Save Dashboard with Comments, or you can save the dashboard, which will give you the results but won't actually tell you individual details or the open text comments. So if you were wanting to share that dashboard with the broader team, then that's the dashboard you would select. So we've got 2 options there for you to select from. The other thing here is, depending on your organisational structure and how you choose to set up your surveys and the data, we also have there some different report options that you can select from. So for instance, you can select here to look at one particular person, or you can select a particular team or a particular department. So when I select that department, straight away that the dashboard's now changed. It's 11 out of 23. The overall scores changed, and it reflects all of the results, for that department. I can go back up and select Department B, and bang, I'm now looking at the dashboard for that particular department. So you can slice and dice what results you're viewing based on the selections you make in the show report options at the top. I'm just going to go back to whole of organisation by unchecking that.
Can I just ask a question about that?
Yeah, sure. Please do.
In that function, I mean, can that function be used as a way to, you know, if we wanted to issue out a survey and not have people be recognised, like as in we want them to be able to be anonymous?
Yes.
Could we break it down where they select what department they're from, so that we could, if, you know, there are really some like red flags, we could probably guess who it was that made the comment, but not actually know?
Yeah, so this one here is I can never say this word, anonymity has been removed. However, you can the survey tool can also be done anonymously. And really whether that anonymity is switched on or off really does depend, I'm going to say, on a number of things. One of those is, you know, the culture of the organisation, but also the intended use of the data. You know, there are some particular feedback surveys that it's really, you sort of need to know who said that. Like if you're asking a new employee and they've just started with the organisation and you're checking in at you know, a number of different intervals to see how they're going, you need to know who that person is to be able to actually support them well. But yes, you can. And under here, at this particular dashboard that I'm showing you just has department, team and participants. You could put job role, you could put location, you can, you know, dissect your data whichever way you need to for you to be able to take a deeper dive in that data set. Does that make sense, Sally?
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, of course, if it was anonymous, we would still be able to have, you know, 7 people have said they're great. It's just that you wouldn't click on there to see who the 7 people are, depending on the type of question that you've asked.
And I think, you know, for the purpose of this one, when it was you know, working from home, or we're in a really an environment that's very challenging for lots of people, for this one we felt it was important that we could see who's flagging that they need support. And I think really all our organisations that are using this particular survey have kept that function on for the purpose of this one, so that they can look after people's emotional well-being. Yeah.
And I think it's important to, I'm going to say, pre-position that with your people like before the survey is actually, you know, released, whether it be, you know, into their email inbox or via SMS to their phone, so that they are aware, you know, that it's either anonymous or it's not anonymous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other questions around the dashboard?
Okay, so Serena, should we take them through the additional survey that we've set up, the more broader?
Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea.
Do you want to go through the survey as well? Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
I'll click start just so we can.
Okay, so this is just to give you a quick idea. As I mentioned earlier, we've got like lots and lots of different questions that you could ask, you know, so pretty much you can ask anything, and you can configure the dashboard in different ways too. Like you can have just rating scale questions, you can have rating scale plus comments, you can have rating scales that are, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, so there's all different options. So you can really make it really meaningful. You can use a language that's going to connect with your team so it makes sense to them. So this one's just an example of some general questions, like, so you might have a question like, we are recognised for a job well done. Collaboration, we treat problems as a learning process. We watch out and watch out for each other and take care of each other. We've got a question around communication, that we foster something that's very open. And then the last one we've included here is we have conversations at the right time with the right person and in the right way. And this one is a bit different to the one you've just seen. So we've got just 2 questions at the end that form into a word cloud. So we're just simply asking, what's the one thing we should stop doing as a team? And what's the one thing that we should start doing as a team? And so then if we just flick over into the dashboard, so we won't run through the whole dashboard because you've seen how that works, it's the same. But if we just have a look at the bottom part with the word cloud.
I'm just bringing up the other dashboard.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I brought it up now.
Yeah. Great. If we just go down to the bottom.
Can you see the bottom of it there?
Yeah. A little bit more. Yeah, perfect.
Is
So
that
there's those 2 questions. So the 3 words that best describe, well, actually that's slightly different questions. So there we've got how to improve and what's the positive. So you can see how that works. So pretty much it divides it into things that are going great and things that need to improve. But in this case, it's simply words, it's not text. So the bigger the word there, the more that's been mentioned. So from a way to improve, you can see there that communication, people feel communication needs improving, a bit around probably that teamwork, trust, workload, they're probably the bigger words there. Then you've got quite a few other little comments. And then on the positive side, how you describe the positive feel of the team. People are thinking there's helpful, fun, there's high energy. Some people think there's good communication, which is probably not unusual. You get a bit of both. So I guess, you know, the skill that's required when there's a dashboard like that with a word cloud is talking to your leaders that would debrief these results with their team to help them unpack that. So when they're having those conversations with the team, it might be around, hey, let's have a look at some of those words that we've got on either side. Here as part of our team, we're saying like communication, workload, teamwork, perhaps needs some improvement. Let's talk about that. What are the things that are going on? You know, what are the things that we're doing okay there, but how do we need to improve? And likewise with the positive, you might want to, the leader might want to unpack and explore. Okay, if you say, you know, one of the good things is we have fun. What is that? What does that look like so we can keep doing it? So yeah, it's just another way to get to gather the data and have the conversations.
Yeah. And Sally, this particular dashboard is an anonymous survey dashboard.
Yeah.
So this is configured different to the last one based on that anonymity. If we go down to show report options, we have teams that we can select from, but there are no actual individuals that we can select from on this particular one. And probably the other difference that you'll notice on this one is the appearance of this little shift button here. And that's because this is the 3rd survey in a series of surveys that have been asked on a monthly basis. So what it does is it compares this survey to the previous survey, looking at that question, the driver and the question that's been asked, and have we improved in that question, or, you know, is the feedback that we're receiving telling us that we actually have we've done a little bit worse in that space. So straight away, the leader can look at the dashboard and go, oh wow, you know, we were doing much better in these areas last month to this month, what's happened, you know, and it really does give them some good
That's
data.
exactly what we'll need to be doing on this project, is that we do our initial survey and then we obviously use that as a baseline and we'll be surveying every 3 months and checking in on, you know, are we living the behaviours that we've established on the project. So yeah, I think this tool is looking like it'll be very useful for us. So I'll need to talk to you more about it.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I'll quickly show you then, Sally. If you click on the top left-hand corner, there's an All Reports button. So if you're doing this on a quarterly basis, when you click on All Reports, you'll easily be able to access and go back to the previous report just by clicking All Reports, selecting the previous survey, and bang, you're straight into the dashboard for the survey that was asked previously. It could be 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago as well. Just thought I'd show you that, just so that you can just get a sense of how you would actually be able to explore the data that you've received in the surveys.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Over a period
A
of
couple
time.
of other things too. So with this tool, obviously comes some support for leaders and managers. So they do get a resource pack or a leader pack, so it helps them understand their dashboard. So that's one part, like how do they read that? How do they have the conversation? So there's a handy resource there. And there's also what we call leader nudges, so that if a dashboard is showing in the amber or red, the manager or the team leader, however you kind of decide on those permissions, will get a leader nudge. So that'll be an electronic nudge that says, hey, have you thought about this, or perhaps try that? Or so they're just, as you know, we know the meaning of nudge, to give someone like a little gentle prod. So it's just giving them an idea to get them thinking, to say, yeah, okay, maybe I can try that, or maybe I could ask that, So if I don't know, that the one of the scores might be around not having the conversations or not being listened to, it might be that we give a nudge that helps that leader start a conversation, like 10 ways to start a more challenging conversation, for example. So yeah, they're just kind of in the moment ideas as they relate to the dashboard.
Sounds good.
Can I jump in here?
Sure.
For those on the call who are not necessarily from a HR background like Sally is, I don't come from that background as well. And I think the important thing for you other guys is that it is actually quite simple to implement, and there is a lot of support. You don't have to have that background or knowledge or understanding of that. That's what we're there for. It's really simple to implement. We will help you and coach you to coach the people. We'll help you with your messaging. So it's not just here it is, you run with that and you go, well, I don't even know what to do here. That the difference with us, we are based here in Adelaide as well, so we can come out with you and we can actually really make it meaningful. So it's not just, here's the tool, you run it yourself. We will work with you, support you, encourage you, coach you to make it actually embedded so that it's got the best outcome for you.
I have a tricky question, and it's probably, as Scott knows, I get a lot of thought bubbles. So actually, everyone knows I get a lot of thought bubbles.
Hang on, I'm scratching my head.
Yeah, particularly for a project the size of Sally's, is there a way that this could be fed through to the subcontractors on that project as well, to see how the managing contractor as a whole is faring?
Definitely, we can survey all we would need of the we would need from you who those people are and what's the best way for them to receive the survey, and then how do you want that survey data to be, I'm going to say, viewed. So do you want that to become part of the same survey, as in the other people on the project, or would you want to have a separate survey so you can always see subcontractors and how they're feeling? So we would work with you to understand what it is you're needing the data to give you, how you want to be able to view that data, and that would be the best way to determine the structure and the architecture of the survey itself.
Sal, what do you think of that thought bubble? Is that something that you guys would utilise?
Yeah, I think that would be something that we could add on, but at this point, just for our reporting purposes, it's only for staff. So when it comes to subcontractors and workforce on the ground, we don't necessarily have to apply it to them for our reporting, but it doesn't mean to say that we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you chose to, just listening to that, Sally, you may elect to do them as two separate surveys rather than combining them into one, because if you need to report on it, you wouldn't want one set of data to what's the word, blur the data you actually do need to report on. But right. It could be useful information for you to gather, but not necessarily to provide through to that reporting that you need to. So
yeah, absolutely.
Just if I can jump in again, just to Matt, I know that Melissa mentioned this on Tuesday, given your workforce, and Sharon, now I understand you've got the same workforce. Matt, can you see where Melissa was coming from in terms of understanding what people are doing and where they're out there, how this might help you?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, no, the communication with all the staff obviously is key to what we do and how they are feeling, especially, you know, what we're going through at the moment. Yeah, so, it can definitely be useful.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Because not everyone speaks up either, do they? You know, like they may be feeling, you know, not so good, or, you know, it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, we just kind of know that not everyone will say, hey, I'm feeling really uncomfortable, or I'm not sure about this. They keep quiet. So this is a good way that people can also kind of flag some things with you too, that they might not feel 100% confident to come and say, hey, I'm struggling, whereas they might do it like this.
Yeah, no, definitely. There are, yeah. Everyone is completely different, as we all know, and yeah, like you said, some people do not like to speak up and, you know, admit they do need help.
Yeah.
Where if they can do it through this, then yeah, it's a positive.
Yeah. And it's an easy way and a very effective way to connect in with your people on a regular basis and really get some line of sight of how they're feeling and what's important to them.
Yep.
And it's, you know, it's easy for you to access that information as well, because as soon as they complete their feedback, you're able to go in and view that feedback the minute it's received. You don't have to, you know, wait for the survey to be closed or anything like that. It's real time, so it's there straight away.
Yeah, excellent.
And I think, sorry to cut in, but I think just thinking about this, as we move to a more electronic digital way of life, we take away that connection to our staff. So, you know, whereas once upon a time, every staff member would get a phone call with their information for their shift for tomorrow, now they just get a electronic message.
Right.
Need to respond to. So this would be great, a great tool to be able to gauge how people are when you're not speaking to them all the time. And Matt would be the same. We have a lot of staff that we never see. They don't need to come into the yard. They don't need to touch base. So I think it's a good tool to show how connected we are staying with them.
Yeah, and to show you care.
Yeah. And I was just going to say the same thing, that you care and that they matter and that you want to know how they're feeling. It's, you know, you're taking an interest in them, which is really good. Any other questions? Do I have anything?
Is it possible to show how you send out the survey? So the steps, how easy it is to go through and, you know, send out a text message. Have you got? Sorry, just, you know, putting you on the spot.
I can't show you how to send out a text message. However, so you're saying, do you want to see what someone would receive in their inbox?
I want to see how you would initiate the survey. So when, say, Sharon wants to hit go, right, this is survey week, I want to send out a message to all of my employees. How do you schedule that, and how easy is that to do in-house yourself?
Well, that's all. I mean, that would be done by our implementation team. Mm-hmm. So it's actually a team of people that actually schedule and send out all of the surveys. Okay, it's not something that, you know, Sharon would be able to do herself. We don't have that sort of system admin tool where people log on and they actually administer the surveys themselves. So we take care of the administration for you, but we work with you to understand and build the survey in preparation for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
so it's all done for you. So it'd be a matter of having a conversation to say, you know, when do you want them to go out? How often do you want them to go out? You know, it can go at 7 a.m. on a Thursday morning and close on a, you know, Monday at 5, you know, so you can just set how you want, and then it's all done. Do you want reminders? And then, you know, that landing page when I showed you the survey, they'd obviously get the information first to say, look, it's coming, but then that's something that they'd get like, hey, how you going? Want to check in with you. So that, you know, those words can change, and that's what they'd see, whether they get an SMS and land there or whether they get an email and land to that page. And then it's just click the start button and then off they go. So it's really, really simple. And we take all that hard work out of it because we do all the admin behind the scenes for you. So, you know, if things change, you just let us know and then we update everything.
No, it's good. Has anyone else got anything else that they want to ask?
No, I'm all good.
All good?
So just, Di and Serena, have you completed your presentation?
We have, just where to from here?
Okay, go for that. Go for that.
No, you can go.
I know, so I just didn't, because I'm looking at the time, it's 55 minutes in, and so I just got to, you know, so if anyone wants to know more, they can go through Mel if they feel more comfortable doing that first, or if they want to come direct to us, they can email me, scott@cpandc.com.au, or is there a contact slide? Have we got a contact slide today? We haven't, have we?
No, we don't have a contact slide, but Melissa, I can send you through.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
details.
I'll email through everyone a copy of the recording and then also all of the contact details for these guys. There's also, sorry, I'm just leaning over to check my other screen, CCF member special as well. Do you want to go through that, Scott?
Yeah, sure. So we are, as members of CCF, we have been invited to put forward a members only special. And this is actually it's actually the best special we've got out there, which is quite good. So basically the way the charging structure works for a survey like this, just so you know, is there's a setup fee to get it, or an initial year's fee to get it set up and get it up and running. And then there's a renewal fee every year. And then there's a per person charge for the surveys that go out. For the CCF members, the first year subscription and ongoing subscription fees, we've reduced that by 25% for both of those. So if someone wants to take this out, the first year subscription fee is 25% off, and then each year after that you keep it, another 25% off the subscription fee. The subscription fee is a range depending on the size of your organisation. In the first year, it ranges from 1,000 up to 2,500, and renewal ranges from 500 to 1,500. So the smaller organisations can still get great use out of the survey, but those two things will both be discounted by 25% if you're a CCF member.
Oh, very good. And thank you guys for offering that to the wider membership as well. I'm sure you'll get a lot of uptake on it, especially from those who are here today. Everyone seems pretty keen on it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come in and actually chat directly with your members, Melissa. Greatly appreciated.
No, you're more than welcome.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you all.
And thank you guys that took the time to come on the call. Much appreciated from us as well. Thank you.
No worries.
No worries. Thank you.
So we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for coming. As always, reach out if you need me. I'm here in my lounge room with my fish tank and my dogs outside. And the postie who decided to visit about 5 minutes ago. Make a hell of a ruckus.
That was your wine delivery, Mel, wasn't it?
No, I wish it was. No, it wasn't. I have to go down to Uncle Dan's and go and visit my Uncle Dan and see what he's got for me today.
Pepperjack was on special yesterday. Uncle Dan's had Pepperjack on special.
Oh, did they? Oh, yeah, okay. I don't need to know that. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you all face-to-face soon. But as always, the fortnightly check-in is in 2 weeks' time, so you'll see details on that. We've got our cultural awareness training is back up. I've just relaunched the date for that as well. So that's on our new website. So feel free to go on that and register. And we've got more webinars. Watch this space. So thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.